The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning and welcome to the webinar on MRSC services. I'm Tracy Burrows, the Executive Director of MRSC, and I'm here with Steve Hawley, our Senior Communications Coordinator.
Good morning, everyone.
And we're going to tell you today about the services that you can access through MRSC. We're going to emphasize the research services, and we're not going to be discussing the MRSC Rosters program that connects Washington and Oregon businesses with local governments. If you're interested in the Rosters program, we've got an on-demand webinar on our Rosters website that explains how the program works, or you can always call Tara Anderson, who's our Rosters manager on staff here. Just a couple of technical notes before we get started. You should have received the slides for the presentation via email yesterday. You can also simply download them from the handout section of the toolbar, and we also have a handy one-pager on MRSC services that you can download there. You can submit a question to us at any time through the toolbar, and we'll answer them at the end of the webinar. We're coming to you live from MRSC's offices. I've been the director of MRSC for the past 8 years, and prior to that worked for local governments in Puget Sound, and Steve does a fantastic job as our Senior Communications Coordinator. He's always looking for ways to make our website even better, and he'll be showing you some of the more powerful tools that we have available to you. We'll be introducing you to other important MRSC staff members who can be a tremendous resource for you a little later in the presentation. So here's our agenda for today. We'll talk a little bit about who we are as MRSC, introduce the MRSC Inquiry Service, which is a very popular service, talk about our news and training. Then Steve's going to give a really fantastic overview of the website and demonstration, and then we'll take your questions. We've just refreshed our strategic plan, and we have a beautiful mission statement. We want you to be successful, and in fact we want to make you look brilliant to your boss. The hallmark of MRSC is a source of timely, trusted, objective information, and we've been doing this work for a long time, over 80 years in fact, and we work hard to respond to your needs. We know that there are countless sources of information out there on the web, and what distinguishes MRSC from the others is that our information is curated. We do the work to comb through literally thousands of documents and distill out examples that work for you. We annotate the materials on our website so you'll quickly know whether a link contains the information you need, so you don't have to waste your time following links that go to a dead end. We know your time is important. We're local, we serve Washington State, and everything on our site was developed within the context of Washington State laws and best practices. So we're showing you examples of programs and ordinances that work here. And we're relevant. You tell us what you need and we respond. But more than that, we get out ahead on issues and we identify emerging trends and get information out to you as quickly as you need it. An important note here about MRSC is that we don't lobby, we don't take sides on policy issues or disputes. We welcome your questions and we answer them, but we are not your legal representative and we don't serve as legal counsel. We work really hard to get you the best information available, and we also welcome submissions of work that you're proud of, that you've done locally. We'd like to share them with others so that they can gain from them. So if you've got something you're proud of, an ordinance that you've passed or a checklist that you've got, please send it to us so we can share it with others. Here we are by the numbers in 2019, and we're really grateful that people take advantage of the services that we provide, and we hope that you will too. Ask MRSC is one of our premier services. How does it work? It's really easy. If you work for a city, a county, or the state, you're eligible for this service. Hundreds of special purpose districts are also eligible through contracts that we have with partners. And if you're not sure if you're eligible, you can go to the Ask MRSC section of our website. For all eligible agencies, there's no charge for you using the Ask MRSC service, and there's no limitation on the number of questions you can ask, so take advantage of it. Here are is our consulting staff, and when you ask a question of MRSC, these are the folks who will be responding. I just want to point out that our latest addition to our legal consultant team, our attorneys, is Steve Gross, just recently the former city attorney for the city of Auburn, and we're really pleased to have him on our staff, along with all of the other attorneys here. We also have our policy consultants. We have specific experts in planning, public works contracting and procurement, and finance, and actually will answer any question that you have under lots of different categories, and I'll be showing you examples of the kinds of questions we field. To access our service, you simply click the Ask MRSC button on the upper right-hand corner of our website, as you see here, to submit a question to one of our attorneys or subject matter experts. The submittal's easy, but they're from the website, but there are times when you just want to talk to somebody on the phone, so you can call us directly to bat around ideas or to talk confidentially, or sometimes if you don't know exactly what you're looking for, we can help you do that over the phone. So you can call us directly on the number on the screen. What you'll get is a prompt, thorough response on questions of law, as you see, like an interpretation of the statute, or policy, like what other jurisdictions are doing about short-term rentals. We also answer questions about the uses of REIT revenue, election rules, human resource issues, and these are just examples. We get over 6,000 questions each year, and they run a broad spectrum of everything under the sun, and we'll respond to anything related to local government, and if we don't know the answer, we'll direct you to the right person who does. Another service is our training, and our training is primarily provided through our monthly webinars and our in-person regional trainings. We also attend conferences that other agencies put on, and we'll do sessions there as well. We have our archived webinars and e-learning. The e-learning in particular is for Public Records Act and OPMA, and many of you who work in that area know you have to have periodic training, and you can get it here. Our upcoming trainings include our regional workshops on the Public Records Act, which our attorneys are working on, and our annual financial reporting, which Tony Nelson on our finance staff is a real financial guru and can help walk you through how to prepare that annual financial report. We'll be doing, and those are in March and April of this year. You can sign up now on our website. On our webinars, we've got upcoming ones on fiscal oversight and developing effective development codes and more. We have a blog where we publish our own content. We write timely articles on issues that impact your daily work, like this example on avoiding Open Public Meetings Act violations. We also write on any new legislation that is coming forward and what it means to you and how it impacts your job and how you need to respond to it, and on new court cases impacting local governments. The easiest way not to miss a blog post and other timely news from MRSC is to subscribe to our e-newsletters. You can do that from our website, and they're mobile friendly, so you can read them on your way to work on the bus or on your desktop at your job. Really a great way to keep up with all the goings on within Washington State that could impact local governments. Social media is another way you can stay informed, and in collaboration with the Government Performance Consortium, we host a Facebook group that you can join where there's a community of practitioners in government innovation that share ideas and discuss issues. You can also follow us on Twitter. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Steve Hawley, who will show you where the really good stuff is on our website.
All right, thank you, Tracy. So I'll start with just kind of a high-level overview of the website, and then I'm actually going to switch over to our website and do a live demonstration for you. So the MRSC website contains a ton of information for local governments. We have a variety of databases that have a lot of information. We have a variety of websites that have a lot of information. We have a variety of websites that have a lot of information. We have a variety of websites that have a lot of information. We have a variety of websites that have a lot of information. We have a variety of websites that have a lot of information. We have a variety of websites that have a lot of information. We have a variety of websites that have a lot of information. We have a variety of websites that have a lot of information. We have a variety of websites that have a lot of information. We have a variety of websites that have a lot of information. We have a variety of websites that have a lot of information. We have a variety of websites that have a lot of information. We have a variety of websites that have a lot of information. We have a variety of websites that have a lot of information. We have a variety of websites that have a lot of information. We have a variety of websites that have a lot of information. We have a variety of websites that have a lot of information. We have a variety of websites that have a lot of information. We have a variety of websites that have a lot of information. We have a variety of websites that have a lot I'll show you some of them here in a few minutes. We've got over 400 topic pages that provide legal and policy guidance on a very wide variety of topics. As Tracy mentioned, we have blog posts. We typically write about 2 new blog posts every week. We also have about 30 in-depth publications that dive into core local government topics such as public records and procurement. And then we also have an extensive sample document library that we're updating all the time with over 4,000 sample documents. And then again, the webinars and training that Tracy mentioned. So I'm going to switch over here to our website. So this is the MRSC homepage, mrsc.org. You can see some of our recent featured items. So we have a blog post that we published just this morning on permanent supportive housing for addressing homelessness. I also want to mention that we have our customer satisfaction survey that's running right now. So if any of you have already used our services, I would highly encourage you to take the survey. You can access that from our homepage. We want to hear from as many people as we can. If you think we're doing a great job, we of course love to hear that. And if you think that there are areas that we could improve, we also love to hear that. So we take our feedback very seriously and want to make sure that we are serving you to the best of our abilities. Now on the website, there are 2 basic ways of accessing information and finding what you're looking for. One of them is our search bar, which is up here at the top of any page. And then the other is our drop-down navigation menu. So that's these options here. And I'll go into both of these in just a minute. But I'm going to start with the search. So this is a really powerful option for accessing information. And we actually just recently, about 2 months ago, launched a new search engine that has a lot of improvements. Many of the improvements are behind the scenes, but some of them are ones that you'll see and that should make it a lot easier for you to find information that you're looking for and find it quickly. So just briefly, generally simpler search terms are more effective than really long and complicated ones. So I'll take a look here let's take a look at prevailing wages. And here you can see our search results. So we've got a topic page here, we've got a blog post, we have an example of an inquiry, a question that somebody submitted through our Ask MRSC inquiry service. We will periodically post examples of inquiries that we've received so that other people can benefit from the knowledge. But I do want to say that we don't include any identifying information. So, you know, that your name's not going to be in there, the jurisdiction's name isn't going to be in there. We edit them and adapt them so that they are more broadly applicable. And then you'll also see over here on the right, so this is one of the new improvements that we just launched, an option to refine your results. So you can actually select your document type and filter your results. So you can select topic pages, and you can also see how many documents are in that category. You can select blog posts, publications, sample documents, inquiries, which again are examples of questions that people have previously submitted to our Ask MRSC inquiry service. We'll sometimes have some news items on particular topics that link to newspaper articles and other external resources, and then other pages. Now, if you're not sure what some of these categories mean, there's a question mark icon next to all of them. If you hover your mouse over that question mark, it'll tell you what it is and give you a definition. So in this case, you can see topic pages are topic overviews, including legal guidance, practice tips, examples, and more. Now, where this really becomes helpful is if you have a lot of search results or if you're looking for something very specific. So hopefully for many of your search results, you'll already find what you're looking for just in a few search, the first few search results, and you won't even have to refine your results any further. But let's take a look at something, we'll take a look at the Public Records Act. So this is one of our core topics. This is something where we get a lot of questions, where we write a lot of blog posts, we have a lot of topic pages. So you can see here, we've got 331 search results. Now you'll see at the top, a lot of very useful resources. So links to all of our resources related to PRA, court decisions, Public Records Act basics, and more. But if you're looking for specific types of information, you can quickly drill down over here. So let's say that you're looking for any of the detailed publications that we have regarding public records. With one click, you could just click publications, and now we're down from 330 results to just 4, and you can see the 4 publications that we have here that are pertinent to public records. You can also clear your selections at any time, so that allows you to go back to your original search results. And you can use this to search for sample documents too. So let's click sample documents. So you can see we're down to 40 sample documents that are related to Public Records Act. And for many of these documents, you'll also see a brief description that our staff have created. As Tracy mentioned, all of the content on our website is curated. We choose it deliberately, and hopefully this information helps you determine whether the information is relevant for your particular purposes. So this first one is actually from the State Attorney General's office, a recent document on when writing is considered a public record. So if you click on those, you'll see the document open up. And many of our sample documents are PDFs. We do have a few other document types from time to time, Excel files or Word documents, etc. So I'm going to go back to the search results. And if you're looking for sample documents, sometimes you're looking for a very specific type of sample document. And so you can actually drill down even further once you've selected sample documents and select a particular type of sample documents. So let's say that you're looking for public records policies or procedures. You can just click policies and procedures here. And now we're down to 22 results. So we went from our initial 330 results down to 40 sample documents, down to 22 policies and procedures with just 2 clicks. And so you can see any of these results here. And again, clicking on them will open up those documents. One other option, if you're looking for sample documents, is you can go through our sample document library. So I'm going to start going through our navigation toolbar here. The sample document library is under Research Tools. There's also an option to submit a question here under Ask MRSC, although like Tracy said, you can access that at the top of any page on our website. But under Research Tools, we have a sample document library. And if you click on that, that'll give you access to all of the 4,000 documents that we have in here. And we have a librarian who does a really great job going through these documents, adding new documents, removing older and outdated documents. So again, if you have any documents that you are willing to share, we would love to have them. There are a couple of options here for looking through sample documents. You can either search or you can browse. And generally speaking, I'd say searching is probably a more powerful tool, but browsing allows you to take a look at all of the documents that we have in our library under a particular category. So if you want to browse for, say, franchise agreements, you can select franchises, and then you click go. And then what you'll see is a list of we have 90 franchise agreements in our library. And so you'll see a list of all of those, as well as the jurisdiction that it's from and the year that it was adopted. Now, you can also search sample documents. So this is very similar to the all sections search that I showed you previously, but it allows you to just search only sample documents from the get-go. So if you want to take a look at something like, let's say you're looking for information on or ordinances related to the affordable housing sales tax, which has been a little bit of a hot topic lately. So let's see if I can spell affordable housing sales tax. And then what you'll see here is a list of all of the documents that we have, as well as, again, a description of what this document is. In a lot of cases, we also have RCW citations for our sample documents. So sometimes if you have a particular statute you're looking for, you can often search for that particular statute. You can also search more specifically in specific sections of the library. So let's say that you are a water sewer district and you're looking to update your job description for your general manager position, and you want to see what other jurisdictions have done. So you can type in general manager here, and then you can select job descriptions. And here's a list of the general manager job descriptions that we have for water sewer districts. And then I'll just do one last example here, banking RFP. You could even just type in banking if you wanted. We have a category for RFP, RFQ, and bid documents. So I'm going to select that, hit go, and then you see a listing of all of the banking RFPs that we have. Now, as much information as we have on the MRSC website, it is impossible for us to have everything on our website. So if you're looking for something and you don't find it on our website, you don't find it in our sample document library, you can always use our Ask MRSC inquiry service as long as you're one of the eligible agencies, and our staff will be more than happy to help you find what you're looking for. A few other tools that we have. So under research tools, we have city and town profiles as well as county profiles. So I'm just going to briefly show you our city and town profiles. This is a listing of all 281 cities and towns in the state. You can see the city name, the most recent population estimates, city classification, form of government, and a lot of other information. And then if you click on any of these jurisdictions, you'll see even more details drop down. So you can get links to their municipal code, their comprehensive plan if we have it on our website, links to their website, etc. We also have a city and town officials directory that you can download as a mobile app if you are looking for city officials from other jurisdictions or want to be able to reach out to them. We have our county profiles, like I said, that provide similar information for counties. We also have custom searches that allow you to search multiple city or county codes or multiple city and county websites simultaneously. So there are some instructions here. I'm going to take a quick look at the county website searches. So this is kind of a neat tool. This actually doesn't search the MRSC website. What this does is it's a custom search that we've created through Google that searches city or county websites. So if you are a county and let's say you're updating your critical areas ordinance and you want to see what other counties have done, what information they've provided, get some samples from them, you can actually type in critical areas. And then you can search, and here you can see examples from Thurston County, Whatcom County, Snohomish County, King County, a number of other counties. So, and if you click on any of these, this will actually open up in a new tab and take you to the county website. So here you can see the Whatcom County website. I'm going to close this and go back to the MRSC website. Some of our other research tools, I'm not going to go into detail about these ones, but just kind of want to highlight them, let you know that they're there. We have a local ballot measure database where if your jurisdiction is considering going to the voters for a ballot measure, you can see how other similar ballot measures have fared recently and what jurisdictions have submitted them to voters. We have our Ask MRSC archives where you can see examples of questions that other jurisdictions have asked us recently, as well as the answers that we've provided. Again, anonymous, so there's no identifying information included. We have our very popular Find Your Contracting Requirements tool. This is for any of you who are involved in procurement. You select your agency type and the type of project that you're working on, and it'll show you your competitive bidding requirements and thresholds, as well as links to other information on our website. Utility liens and shutoffs, that's for any utility providers out there. If you have a delinquent customer, this allows you, it provides a step-by-step process guiding you through a number of questions in order to show you whether you are allowed to impose a lien or shut-off service and under what situations. And then we also have links to a number of legal resources, so city and county codes, as well as RCWs, WACs, and court decisions. The next section of our website is the Explore Topics section. So this is where I would say the majority of the content on our website is. You can see on the left a listing of popular topics. So some of these topics are always popular, so public records, procurement, open public meetings. Other of them are more timely, so family and medical leave. We're getting a number of questions about that with the new leave requirements that took effect on January 1st. Homelessness obviously is an issue that many jurisdictions are dealing with. We've also got a new crop of newly elected officials, so we've got lots of information there. If you click on purchasing and contracting, for instance, what you'll see is a list of all of the information that we have regarding purchasing and contracting, which is a lot. You can also take a look at other broader topics. So you can take a look at issues related to parks and recreation, public safety, transportation, environmental issues. You also have finance here, so I'm going to take a look at finance real quick. And here you can see a listing of a lot of different topics that we have, all under the broad category of finance. I do want to highlight we have a credit card acceptance page that we recently published. So this is for any of those jurisdictions that, oh, and here's a pop-up for our customer satisfaction survey going on right now. Another little reminder for you. But the credit card acceptance, this is for any jurisdictions that are currently accepting credit or debit cards for payment of taxes, fees, etc., or for jurisdictions that are considering accepting credit cards. So this provides a lot of helpful information to guide you through that process. Some other examples of recent pages that we've published or overhauled are health insurance benefits. I'll just take a quick look at that one. Our health insurance benefits page here. So this provides information on the requirements of local governments to provide health insurance, whether that's for elected officials or for employees. And on any of our topic pages, you can actually see there's this on this page drop-down menu. And when you click on that, you'll see this is basically a table of contents for the page and provides an overview of all of the information that's provided. So you can see information for jurisdictions that have less than 50 full-time employees, information on health insurance benefits for elected officials. And if you click on any of these, it'll take you straight to that section of the website, of the web page. So here's the information that we have on health insurance benefits for elected officials. Other examples of topics that we've recently written about are speed limits and traffic calming, electronic records, and real estate excise taxes. So you can see that we deal with a broad range of topics. We also have our publications that I mentioned. Actually, I guess before I get there, I'll briefly mention, so the Stay Informed section, that's where you can sign up for our e-newsletters. And you can also view our recent blog posts like Tracy mentioned. And then the training section, this is where you can view and register for our upcoming trainings. There's also an archived webinars option. If we've offered a webinar in the past and you missed it, were unable to attend it, then you can sign up here and watch archived versions. The publications section of our website is where we have in-depth PDF publications that go into a lot of depth about core local government topics. One of our most popular ones right now is Knowing the Territory, which provides basic legal guidelines for city, county, and special purpose district officials. This is especially popular right now just because we had elections recently, so you have a new crop of elected officials. So we recently updated this publication, and you can see the table of contents. It discusses things like basic powers, duties, liabilities, potential conflicts of interest and ethical guidelines, and much more. I'll go back to the publications page. And then two of the more recent publications that we've written are, one of them is on public records management. So we have our PRA and Records Management Technology Guide. We just published this last year. This is a guide to help smaller and medium-sized jurisdictions in particular identify, evaluate, and select public records management software. So it provides a lot of information about questions for you to consider and just kind of high-level questions about what type of software you need. And then we also have detailed profiles of various types of software programs. So you can see software programs, an overview of their capabilities, and you can also see some jurisdictions that use those particular software programs currently if you want to reach out to them for further information. And then the last one I'll highlight today is our revenue guides. So we completely rewrote, reorganized, rethought these guides last year, and then we recently updated them to take into account new legislation and other changes such as I-976 for vehicle license fees. So we have one revenue guide for cities and towns and one for counties. I'm going to open up the county one really quick. And for our newer publications, we've also included a revision history at the beginning, so you can see when we last updated it, as well as what information we changed. And then you can see the table of contents here, a lot of extensive information helping you understand very complicated topics such as property taxes, sales taxes, and a number of other revenue sources. You can also see at the end of the document, we have a number of appendices that go into revenue sources by program area. So if you're a county and you're looking for revenue options for law enforcement and criminal justice. You can click on that and you'll see an overview of all of the potential revenue sources that you could use, as well as who is eligible to use it, a brief description of the revenue source, whether it requires voter approval or not, and then links both to the RCW and to the section of the publication that discusses those revenue sources in more detail. So I'll go back to the website here. And like Tracy said, we're not really going in depth about the Rosters program today. There's Rosters has a separate website with recorded webinars that you can watch that have a lot of information there. But if you are on the MRSC website and want to get to the Rosters website, you can do so up at the top of your screen. If you click on this Rosters link, that'll take you straight to the Rosters website. And then finally, if you have any comments about our website, any issues that you see, you can use the Contact Us button. If you have legal questions or research questions, you should use the Ask MRSC service. But if you want to highlight an issue on a topic page, or even something as simple as a broken link that needs to be fixed, you can use the Contact Us form. We try to respond to those very quickly and fix those issues. And now I'm going to turn it back over to Tracy. Give me just a minute to switch over to the presentation.
Okay, super. Thank you, Steve. That was a fantastic overview. You know, we do have a lot of resources, and we feel like we can help so many folks out there who may not be aware of us. So please help us spread the word. You've got a simple one page you can download from our handouts that you could distribute, but also this webinar. You'll get an email in the next couple of days that has a link to the webinar recording, and you can share that with others as well. Think mostly about your new staff and new elected officials, but we find that there are some folks out there who don't know about us, who've been working for a local government for a long time. But some jurisdictions include a one-pager on MRSC in their onboarding processes, and we encourage your agency to do that as well. So if you have questions about MRSC services or about anything that we explained about the website or any of our other services, now is the time to submit them via the website, via your toolbar. And as you are doing that, we will talk a bit more about our trainings that are open for registration. As I mentioned, we've got Building a Foundation for Fiscal Oversight a little bit later in the month. For any kind of planners out there, tips for writing good and effective development code provisions, Public Records Act basics, and more are one-day workshops that will be held throughout the state in March and April. Those are very popular trainings that tend to fill up quickly. If you haven't already, please sign up for our e-newsletters. And with that, we will take your questions.
All right, so again, if you have any questions, please submit them. Okay, so we've got a question here. Tracy, perhaps you can answer this one. Can private consultants who work with local agencies use MRSC's services?
Yes, with some limitations. If you are a private consultant, or if you have a consultant working with your agency on a particular project, we will answer their questions that are related to that project. So,
okay. Question on whether this webinar is going to be recorded and sent to attendees. Yes, this webinar will be recorded. You should receive an email with a link to the recording within the next day or so, and feel free to share that information with others. Someone here says, I'm looking for a one-pager on the OPMA and emails. Do you have that? I know we have a series of checklists for Open Public Meetings Act compliance, as well as Public Records Act compliance. So I would suggest that you take a look there, see if that answers your questions. I don't know if you have any.
No, that's a really handy checklist that goes through all of the things that you can and can't discuss in executive session and so forth. So That's a really handy one-pager on the OPMA.
Okay. And I'm not seeing any more questions right now. I think we'll leave it open for another minute or so. Now's your chance if you have any questions. More than happy to answer them. Again, I want to remind people of our customer satisfaction survey that's going on right now. We would really love to get as much feedback as we can on that.
Also, give us feedback on this webinar as well. You'll have a pop-up survey right after the webinar. Please take a couple of moments because we do this one pretty regularly and we'd like to improve it continuously.
All right, I'm not seeing any more questions coming in, so hopefully that means that we did a good enough job.
We did get a thank you. Well, thank you.
Yes,
all.
thank you. Thank you for attending.
Yes, thank everyone for attending, and we'll see you soon on the MRSC website or via the phone.
All right, thank you, everyone.